Guys, we'll be starting soon. Participants. Guys, can you just once confirm? I guess I can see in the chat that I'm not audible.
Your voice is a bit low, but you're audible.
Is it still low?
Oh, it's better now. Yeah.
It's better. Okay, fine. guys, so we'll start off now the session. I hope I'm audible. Good evening, everyone. I am Sean Matthew. Just being in the chat if there's connection my side or your side or something. We'll try to rectify it as soon as possible. And let's start with the session. So it was nice to see such an overwhelming response from all of you. We got around more than 2.5k registrations for this single camp, and we hope you all will enjoy this journey of starting competitive programming, and we will guide you the best we can. Okay, so let's start. So what is competitive programming? It is basically using your programming skills to solve problems, solve logical problems, and apply your own reasoning to it. The language that we'll be using to continue with our camp would be C++. So before starting off with anything else, we have to learn the basics of C++. So I'm Sean Matthew, and today I'll be just briefing over what C++ is and how we'll be using it for coding. So this is our attendance form. I hope you all scanned it while I shared it before. I'll give you a minute to just go over this. Just scan it, and you can fill in your names and things, whatever is included in the form. Just go through it once, scan it once. I'll bring it up later also, once or twice in the session. No need to tell me to go back and all, because I'll just keep showing this again and again. So I'll give you a minute. Scan it up and mark attendance, and we are good to move on. So parallelly, we'll be sharing the link to the attendance form in the chat. I hope you all are able to see it.
Sean, Sean, give us 1 minute.
Yeah.
I think your screen is not visible on the YouTube stream. Let's wait for 1 minute.
Even I guess it is lagging or something.
It's lagging a bit. Yeah, so it's fine in Teams. Yeah. Fine in Teams. Yeah.
Okay, so I guess Nidhi and some guests has commented that my voice is still not audible. Is it so? I would like to see it in the comments itself. Okay, if there's no reply, I assume it's audible. It's not audible. It keeps fluctuating. Okay, it's fine now. Okay, I'll try to hold my device as close to my yeah. I'll do that. Fine. We'll just wait for a minute because there's some issue with the live stream. The people in the teams, I guess you all are able to scan this form and put on your attendance. That is actually not a major concern for me right now. Can we move on, Haricharan? Is it fine in Teams?
Yeah, it's fine in Teams.
Sorry, is it fine in YouTube? My bad. Is it fine in YouTube?
I don't think so. I still think it's not fixed on YouTube. Let's wait for a minute. Yeah.
I'll wait for a minute. Yeah, just give me a kind of a thumbs up and I'll move on. Okay, can see on YouTube. So I'll continue. Is it fine? Chahal, just put a yes or a no. Yes. Okay. Fine. So I'll continue. Fine. Okay. Awesome. So okay, we will just go through this one. So I won't spend more time in here. So what will we be learning today in basics of C++? So any language in programming, what do we learn in that? We have to deal with these four basic things in almost every language. Okay, this is not just for C++. This is for every programming language that you pick out there. Okay, first thing that we'll be learning would be the basic syntax, the basic framework of the language that we are learning. Okay, and then the next one would be input and output. Then we will be learning variables, and then some basic operations on these variables. I won't be reading out the slides. I'll actually code and work out stuff. So this is an overview on what we are planning to do today. Um, for you guys to not get confused, and suppose there's a lag or something, or in case you miss out on something, there's a reference code attached to this. I hope you all can access it using the QR code. I'll be parallelly sharing the link guys in the chat. Okay, so if you are using your desktop or something, I guess you'll be it will be easier for you to use it that way. So, this is the link to the code which I'll be using. I won't be using. I'll be coding it parallelly, but this is a reference code for you guys to understand what we are going to do today. So I'll just start once. So I understand that most of you wouldn't have a compiler or an online or an offline IDE on your desktop. So you can see that I have opened Google tab. I hope everyone has search engines on the desktop. What we'll be searching out now would be JDoodle, an online compiler, JDoodle C++. Open the first link that pops up. Okay, that would be the online IDE we'll be using. I would recommend you to parallelly open this and start coding with me so you get a basic idea. Now as soon as you open this, you get some kind of a code already written on the compiler or on the IDE. Okay. So what is this? This might sound a little confusing. This might look little different if you just started with a programming language. So let me just clarify what these things are. For now, I'll just erase everything and I'll start with the first thing that we are going to learn. That would be the header files. Okay. So what are header files? Um, Now revisiting what header files are, what initially, suppose you want to get some task done, suppose you get hurt, so you want to get to the hospital to get yourself treated. Suppose you want to file a complaint, you go to the police station. Suppose you want to learn something, you go to the school, right? So for every task you have some kind of institution or body responsible for doing it. Very similarly, you can assume header files to be these organizations which help you carry out functions. Very simple header file would be hash include. Very simple header file would be the IO stream. Okay, what is IO stream? IO stream is the input output stream. Okay, it helps you take input and output in your program. So the way we call a header file, the way we include it in a program is using the hash include call. Okay, so that's what we saw first. When we opened JDoodle, the first line written was hash include IO stream. This is just to call the input output institution or the organization which will help us carry out these functions. Coming to the next line, you might have seen using namespace std. What is this? Okay, this is a little complicated. For now, we'll just take it to be a convention, but I'll explain it before ending this session. Okay, for now, we take it as a convention. Now, the next thing that you saw was int main, okay, and some curly braces out there. So, what is int main? What are these curly braces? So run a C++ program, your compiler starts reading it from the main. What is main? Main, as it says, it's the main function of your program. So whatever I write in here, in between these two curly braces, okay, I hope this is visible. So this is my main function. Whatever I write between these two curly braces will be executed by my program. Okay, very simple. Now, what is int? Why have I written main? What are these braces? This is just a part of the language. Okay, you can consider this to be the grammar of the language we are learning. You don't need to fixate yourself upon why is this not curly, why is this curly, and so on. For now, we'll accept it as it is, and learn more eventually. So till now, do you have any doubts? I'll just look up on the teams in the chat. If you have any doubts, just go for a yes, I have a doubt, or just type in your doubt. Or if you're on the
Guys, okay, let's just wait for a minute. So we have a couple of questions in the chat box. So Akshat has asked, why don't we write with a H at the end as we do in C? So C and C++ are just fundamentally different languages. Now you can use C like .h header files in C++ sometimes, but we're just not using that over here. So we have one more question. Why are we using the int data type before main? So that's just a standard thing in C++. So in C++, inside the main statement, in the last line, there is a return zero. That return zero is optional, but every main function actually returns zero. Since that return zero, use the int data type because we're actually returning an integer which is zero. So that's how C++ works. And we have even one more question. So the function of std namespace. So namespaces are just a way to shorten your code. So namespace is one fundamental way of telling from where the std function comes from. So for instance, we have all the functions like cin, like we have all the classes like cin, cout, etc. Right? So we have to know from where all the cin and cout comes, and std is the place from where cin and cout comes. Uh,
Guys, am I
so
audible?
yeah, you are audible, Sean. I cleared a couple of doubts in the chat. You are audible, yeah.
Okay, fine. Okay, fine.
There is one more
So
doubt.
I'm
I will
sorry
just
for
finish clearing
this.
that. Uh,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
okay.
Finished it. Fine.
Yeah. So one more question was, can you use float instead of int and return some float value? You can't do that in the main function. The main function has to be int main only. Main function can't be anything else. But if you have any other function, in fact, we'll talk about functions in a while. In those things, you can actually return whatever you want. So is that clear? Okay. Hopefully that's fine.
Okay, fine. So I'll continue from here. In case you didn't understand what header files are or why are we using this framework, I would suggest you to wait with me for a while. I'll explain everything to you, and you'll learn. Okay, don't worry. So initially, as I told you, we are including this IO stream header file because we want to take input and output. So in general, there are specific header files for everything. As I told you, if you get hurt,
Sure.
go to the hospital.
Are you
Yeah,
presenting? Your screen is not visible.
my screen is not visible. Okay. Is it visible now?
Yeah, no, it's fine.
Okay, fine. Yeah. So as I told you, suppose you get hurt, you go to the hospital and so on. There is a general header file that we use in C++ while doing competitive programming, especially. Okay, that is that what I'm writing out here. You can just check it out. bit/stdc++.h. Okay, this is the header file that does everything. Okay, you need not include anything else in your program. This is the complete header file. You get hurt, you go here. You have a case, you go here. You want to learn something, go here. This is a all-in-one header file. So this is what I wanted to introduce you guys to. When you go online, when you search compilers, you will see IO stream and all popping up. Those are small institutions, small header files. This is a general universal header file. You can call it that way, and you can use all the functions out there. Okay, so now we got to know what header files are. We got introduced to what the universal header file is, that is bit/stdc++.h. I would recommend writing it down. We'll be sharing the coding repo. So here also, if you see, I have mentioned this out there. You can have a look. Now coming to the int main part. What is int main? Int main is the program where you start writing out codes and the compiler starts processing it. The first standard program anywhere is to print out some string, some variable. Okay. So how do we print in C++? The way we print is we give it a command. I want to tell my compiler go print something. So how do I tell it? I tell cout. What is cout? Cout is the command that tells the compiler it has to print something. So I do cout. This is again a syntax. A syntax is very similar to a grammar or something in a language. It's a framework that you need to follow. So cout, two left brackets, then two left angular brackets,
Then suppose I want to print out the name of this camp. Okay, I'll just print out CCC for now because it's a long name, and I'll put a semicolon. What is semicolon? What are those two lines? This all are syntax. Okay, C out basically means we are pushing something out toward to show it out. It's an output thing. So outputting? We are outputting a string which is represented between two braces between these inverted commas. Okay, a double inverted commas. So what you are seeing here, that CCC within two double inverted commas, is called a string. So this is a program which will function on its own. I just need to press execute, and you will see that I'll be having my result out there in this result box. So before starting off with many more things, I'll just introduce you to this platform. This is JDoodle is such that whenever I press execute, whatever outputs that I'll be getting from my program will be presented here in the result box. I hope this is visible to everyone. So I'll just execute once, and it's running the program, and after it finishes running, you get an output called CCC. So this is what we got. Okay. Any doubts? This is a basic thing. What in general programmers print is the hello world. Hello world is a standard string that we print. Suppose I want to print some more stuff. Suppose I want to print out my name. So again, a very similar syntax. C out, double the left opening angular brackets. Then I print out my name, which is Sean, and I again close my statement with a semicolon. So again I press execute. So what are we expecting? We are expecting a string called hello world. Then we are expecting a string called Sean. So hello world Sean. So this is what we expected, but this doesn't look beautiful, right? We want the next word Sean to go to the next line, or at least have a space or something. So now I'll be introducing you to the next line character. Okay, what is the next line character? Suppose I print the next line character, it breaks the current line and starts printing from the next line. Okay, I hope this is very this is actually simple. I would repeat it once again, but let me just write out what it is. So the ending lines here, the word which I use here, the keyword which I'll be using would be endl. Okay, what is endl? Okay, so C out endl. When I write endl, it means end the line. So first I'll be printing hello world, then I'll be printing the ending line. So what do I mean by printing the ending line? It just means that I'll be ending off my line here. Then I print out my own name. So I'll execute it once again, and you'll be able to see what endl does. So hello world, then it prints out the next line, and then it prints out my name. Okay, this is very important, and this is the basics of outputting something into the output console. Fine. So this was one part discussed. Now we'll be coming to what variables are. So what are variables? Variables are nothing but containers. So now how do you imagine variables? We all have learned various things from our childhood. We learned alphabets, we learned numbers, then we started learning numbers with decimal points and so on. So suppose I want to store a number in my program. So how do I do it? I store it in containers. Now what are the available containers in C++? So I'll just quickly go through my slides once so that you have a brief idea on what we are talking about. So so we are done with header files. I told you what header files are. The way we include them in our programming using the hash include. We got introduced to the single universal header file bit/stdc++.h, and now we are at variables. Okay, so what are variables? Variables are, again I repeat, they are containers to store some value that I'll be needing throughout my program. It can be, what is int, char, long, int, bool? Don't get confused. These are just the keywords in C++ used to represent those. So this is the list we'll be covering today. I'll go back to our program and teach you something very important. Now suppose I want to hide something from the compiler. What do you mean by hide something from the compiler? Suppose I want to give you an instruction that Sean is my name. How will you know Sean is my name? I don't want to print it out here, but I want you, the person who's reading my code, to understand that Sean is my name. So this is where we use something called comments. What are comments? Comments are something that we'll be using to convey our ideas to the person reading the program, but it won't be executed by the compiler. How do we put comments? It is using the syntax of two backslash. Okay, so I put two slashes, and I write whatever I have to. So this is a comment, and this won't get printed. Suppose I press execute, then my compiler starts running the program, but it doesn't compile this line because it's a comment. Now suppose I remove these two lines. What happens now? Since this is not a valid syntax, okay, there is nothing called as this is a comment in the C++ keywords or syntax or anything. It will give me a compilation error. So whenever we are writing comments, a major thing, see, this is invalid. Okay, this is invalid, and we'll just comment this off. It won't be taken in by the compiler. So that's one thing. I'll be writing some things in the comments for you to understand it better. Now suppose I want to store an integer container. So my container should store an integer value. So the keyword used in C++ is int. Okay, suppose I want to store an integer value. The keyword uses int. So I'll be using int. Okay, this is our variable 1. I'm naming it as variable 1. You can name it as anything. You can name it as CCC1. You can name it as var1. Whatever you want. I'll be writing a bigger name so that everyone understands, which is variable 1. Now this is called as initializing a variable. Initializing a variable. So we have initialized a variable and given it a name as variable 1. Now we can give it a value here itself. Say I want a variable 1, and then I can assign the value. My favorite number is 7, so I'll go with 7. So variable 1 gets the value 7. Okay, so what did I do now? Here I declared the variable named variable 1. I declared the variable here, and here I assigned it the value 7. Okay, is this clear? So whatever I write on the left side, the right side thing will get assigned to it. So the value 7, which is an integer, gets assigned to the variable 1. Okay, this is a basic C++ syntax to declare a variable and then assign it to a value. Now how do I ensure that 7 got assigned to variable 1? The way I do it is I basically print out the value of this variable. How do we print the value of an integer? Very similar to what we did here. Okay, do not get confused. I'll put cout. This is a standard syntax to print anything in C++. And now what I'll be doing is I'll be printing out the value of variable 1. How do we do that? We just write the name of the variable, which is variable 1. Okay, so this is how I print it. What I'll be doing is in general commenting the above stuff so that it doesn't interfere with our later program. And so here we go. We have an integer declared whose name is variable 1. We assigned it a value of 7, and now we are printing out the value of this variable. So let's execute this once and see what's the output. So the output is 7. What is 7? 7 is the value of variable 1. So this is something very essential, and you guys should understand it. If you have any issues till here, just let me know. Just write it in the chat right now so that we can clarify it. Yeah, I'll give you a minute to think through this, see the code, and reply. I hope there are no doubts because I can't see any chats in here. Okay, fine. So I'll be. We can also use printf and scanf. Okay, that is fine. We can use other stuff too, but we'll be introducing you to the other variations soon. This is something very simple to understand. So are printf and scanf, but let's take to what we are doing here. Okay, that is fine. Now, in general, what is a good programming practice is to assign a value to a variable as soon as you declare it. Why is this though? This is because suppose I skip the assignment step. Suppose I do. So how do I skip it? I just comment it for now. So I don't assign it any value here. And if I execute, okay, so I have initialized, I have declared a variable, and I am printing out its value. So it gives me a random value of 0 here. Okay. In general, the latest version kind of allots it a value of 0. But in older versions, you can see it having garbage values. So you can get some big weird numbers, which we generally call it as garbage values. So you should always try to assign the value as soon as you declare the variable. Another way to do it is to assign it as soon as you declare it. So int variable 2 is equal to 7. This is another way to declare and assign the value in a same line. So this is same as above, and I'll be again printing out the value of variable 2. Now what I'll just print it out once and show you what happens. Can you guys guess the output? Let's have some interaction in the comments. So can you guess the output? What will the output be? You are able to see the functions. Just put in the chat what do you think the output will be. 77. Perfect. So guys are commenting 77, which is actually correct. And why will it be 77? Okay, because first we print out the value of variable 1, which is 7, and then without leaving a next line or without leaving a space or anything, we directly tell it to print the next value. So it prints the first 7 and then it prints the next 7. So what do we do now? I guess this might confuse the person, right? Because we want to print 7, it's showing 77. So one way is to print out the endl, that is the ending line. So if I execute it now, it goes to the next line. But every time doing this twice like this seems a little ugly or something, I would say. So one better way to write it is just remove this. You can write it out in one shot as variable 1, and you can just write endl. So this is same as the above 2 lines. This is same as the above 2 lines. So now what I'm ensuring is every time I print the value of the variable, I'm leaving a line after that, and then I'll be continuing to the next line. Okay. So this will give me 7 and the next line and then 7 again. So this is what we mean by integers. Now I guess we are clear with this. We'll move on to some other variable types. I'll be covering something called float. So as I told you, first we learned what integers are, what numbers are. We learned 1, 2, 3 and so on. Then someday we were introduced to decimal values, 1.3, 1.5 and so on. So decimal values, decimal container in C++ is called the float. Okay. So I'll be declaring a variable float. Let me call it variable 3 now. Okay, we'll be going with this convention throughout the session. And I can follow the same syntax of variable 3 and then assigning it a value, or I can just assign it here itself. So I'll be assigning it here itself. I don't know, I'll go with a random number of 2.7 or something. Let's go with 2.7, and I'll be printing out the value of variable 3. I'll be using the endl convention because that's what we learned 2 minutes ago. Now can you tell me what the output will be? Okay, I'll execute it and I'll be waiting for your output. It's a little tricky, so just tell me how is it. Whatever has been done here is intentional. I want to see if or not you're attentive. Okay, so try to tell me what the output will be, and let's see. I want 7, 7, 7, 2.7, 7. Okay, you can see some of the things are commented, so make sure you answer that way. Wait, why are none of the answers correct? Or yeah, okay, yes, okay, we have got the correct answer from Revant. Okay, I hope I pronounced it correctly. So it is 7, and then there'll be a break, then there'll be a 7, and then will be a 2.7. So first I'll get a 7 on the first line, then it will print out this 7. Okay, and then without leaving a line, it will print the value 2.7. So again, we'll be good and follow the standard ways. We'll put an endl here, get the correct values we intended to, which is 7, 7, 2.7. I'll just comment out everything so that it doesn't interfere with the further program from now. Let's move on to another container. Okay. Now what I'm saying is we'll be having characters. What are characters? You have seen A, you have seen B. These are characters. Even comma is a character. Whatever things that are present on your keyboard that can be typed out are for now characters. Okay, say the question mark, or say the slash, or say the bracket. Everything are characters. These all things are characters. And the character container in C++, character container in C++ is called char. Okay, it's called char. It's that simple. The character container is called char. Now we'll be, trying to declare something. Char variable 3. I'll just variable 4. We'll go with this convention, and I'll call it as S for now, or let's call it C. Okay, I'll call it C. So char variable 4 is C. How do we know variable 4 is assigned the value of C? We just, I won't waste time here. You guys are smart. You guys might, you have got an idea of what is happening. So what will be the output now? It would be just a C, right? Because I've commented all the earlier outputs. It would just be a C. So I hope this is clear. So these are the main variables which I had to introduce, which is int, char, float, and what are these? Double, long, and shortened. We'll come to it soon. Okay, I'll introduce it as time comes. But one interesting thing that you should be knowing here is what are bool. How many of you are aware of the term boolean? Have you heard the word boolean? Something like yes or no, if flooded in the charts would actually be nice. What is boolean? Yes. Okay, everyone knows what boolean is. That is awesome. That gives me some confidence on teaching. Let's start. So boolean is basically a function that gives me a truth statement of a given function. Okay, suppose I'm like, what is boolean? Boolean is either true or false. So in computer, in the language of the computers, we can't write true or false. So true is 1 and false is 0. Okay, I hope this is clear. True is 1 and false is 0. Now, what are the Boolean containers? So the Boolean containers are called bool in C++. So I'll be like bool. I'll call it variable 5, and we can assign it either 1. Okay, this is 1 to assign it, or we can assign it the value of true. What is true? True is 1. It's a keyword in C++. It's a keyword in C++. Again, false is a keyword in C++. Now, what's interesting here is, suppose I print out the value of variable 5. What do you think the output will be? It's a it's a trick question. Would it be true, or would it be 0, or would it be what would be the output? I want you guys to write in the comments. What will I get as an output when I run this program? I've run this. I'll just show you the results. Okay, I'll get 1. That is perfect. So the output that we'll get here would be 1. Why? As I told you, I'll just comment this out. Yeah. So as I told you, our computer does not understand what true is and what false is. True is a keyword in C++, which basically corresponds to the value 1, and false is a keyword in C++, which corresponds to the value 0. Suppose I write false here, and I execute this. This time I'll get a 0. So this is something that we should understand. This is not that important right now, but you should have a decent idea of what booleans are, what is true, what is false, what will be the output when we print out these boolean variables. Okay, so that is fine. I'll comment this out again. So we have a decent idea of what's happening. Now coming to the next part, in our slides, we are done with variables. We'll be looking towards the size of these variables. Now, what is this? Anytime you just go online and search up variables in C++, you'll see some kind of a table like this. Now, I didn't want you guys to feel that I didn't include the table. This is just for namesake for now. Okay, you need not by heart all these values and how many bits are there. Is it 8? Is it 32? Is it 64? No need to do that. We'll get to know this as we write codes and so on. But for now, I just mentioned this here because later on when you want to refer to things, you can just have a look. Coming to the main point, that is input and output. We have visited this. We know what output is. We know what endl is. but there are a few more things left in here that we have to touch. So coming back to our coding space, what I would be doing here right now would be taking an input from the user. Okay, how do we do that? Suppose that when will we need this basically? Suppose I want to make a program which takes in the roll number of the person who's using it, and then does some kind of program, runs the program on it. Okay, so what I'm concerned right now is taking in the roll number. So I'll be declaring an int called roll number, and I'll be initializing it to 0, because suppose he doesn't give any value, the default value I'll be using would be 0. Okay. Now, how do we take an input from the user? We take an input from the user by using the keyword cin. Okay. Here it was cout. Here it was cout. And for taking input, it is cin. Now it is exactly the opposite of cout. For cout, we use the left braces. For cin, we'll be using the right angular brackets, and we'll be taking in the input inside the variable called roll number. That is all. There is no endl or nothing here, because you're not outputting anything. You are taking an input. So you have a int roll number. You take an input into the roll number, and that's how you proceed. Now, when and where will the user provide the input? Now again, introducing you to the JDoodle platform, something new every time. Okay. So here we get the output, and here we put in the inputs. So how do we put in the input? Very simple. It is asking me for an input. Whatever number I put here, I'll be putting the number. My favorite number again is 7. So I'll assign myself as roll number 7. So so what happens now here is the program starts running. The int main starts running. We'll just comment all these things to avoid confusion for now. So whatever is the comments, the compiler just straight away ignores it. Okay, it doesn't even check it. Straight away ignores it. So int main, it will ignore all these things. It will come here. It will be like, okay, there's a variable called roll number which is declared, and then something has to be put inside the container roll number. Now how do we do it? It will now the value provided here is 7. Whatever value is provided here, it will take in the value, it will read it and store it in roll number. Might sound a little confusing, but let me just see out the value of roll number so that you get an idea of what we are doing. Okay, so this is basically taking input. This is taking input, and I'll be just presenting the output of the roll number, output of the value of the container roll number. Okay, so I'll just run it once, and can you tell me what the output will be? Okay. It is 7. Okay, it is 7. It's pretty clear. It's 7. Now, suppose I put in a number here called 710. What will happen now? Someone tells, no, your roll number is not 7. Your roll number is 710. I'm like, okay, fine. My roll number is 710, and that is what shows out here. So that's all two inputs. You can take multiple inputs. How do you take multiple inputs? So the first value which I have put in here goes to the first time my compiler asks for an input. So it gets 710. The next time I again and now I want my age. Okay, int age equal to 0. I'll take in the age of the user, and I'll for just to confirm if or not it's correct, I'll just output it again. So first I put my roll number, which is 710. Then I put my age. My age is not 7, but let's go for it. So my age is 7. My roll number is 710. I execute it, and what happens now? So the first time my program asks for an input, it checks the first line. It checks the first input which is given, which is 710. So it takes in the first input, which is 710, and assigns it to roll number. In the next time, it calls in again cin for age. Okay, so next input given is 7. It takes 7 and assigns it to the container age. Okay, so am I clear till here? Okay, you guys have to put me in a thumbs up or ask your doubts pretty soon. 717. Why would 717 pop up? Okay, there might be some. It is okay. I guess it's not relevant to this. Let's just ask your doubts here. Do you have any doubts related to this? Are you clear why it will be 7, 10, and 7? I guess we are just taking in the input 710. Okay, one question for you guys. Is it okay if I present it in dark mode, or do you want me to switch? Okay, because I feel that some of you are not able to see it properly. Which one's better? I would like some comments because I'm not sure. If it's not visible, dark theme is better. Okay, okay, fine. So I'll just go with dark and everything. You guys understood stuff, right? I'll just move on. I'll move on and so you can similarly take input as name, initials of my name. I'll take in as input initial. Then you can take a float as say percentage or something, and then see in percentage. So what happened here? I'll just write out a few stuff and show you that this actually works. I don't think we need to dive deep into this right now. So just quickly I'll write this down, and yeah, just write in the comments or write in the chat box if you have any kind of issues still here. So where is my STD in? My STD in is here. First I gave 710, my roll number, my age 7, my initials S, and then I'll be giving out my percentage, say 0.5. Okay, let's just run it once. And none of this is true, by the way, except the initials. So you get the series of output. So I hope you guys have no issues still here, and fine. That is good. Now I'll just comment everything out till here. If you have any doubts, I give you a minute to quickly ask me, because we'll be having a short quiz now, which will help you strengthen your concepts here. So any doubts, I'll give you a minute. Quickly just spam the chats. I'm more than happy to answer. How and when do we use long and long short with other variables? Okay, so I'll be covering arithmetic operations on variables, and we'll discuss this very quickly there. You'll have a good idea on why we use it and when we use it. So since there are no comments, I'll just move on with our quiz. Okay, let's start. So I hope this QR code is visible to all of you. Okay, is it? Just scan this up right now, and I can start with a small quiz. Okay. And at the same time, I'll be just sharing the link with you guys in the chats. So yeah, I guess in the YouTube platform to Haricharan, you can just put it up right there. So just join me here in this, and we can just start off. Okay. How to scan? Okay, that's a good question. On how to scan on YouTube, I would say you can just use some. I don't know. You can use Google Lens here, maybe. That's something very doable. Or you can just take a screenshot and upload it someplace where you can scan QRs. Or you have the link also. I guess someone did put in chat box of YouTube. I guess someone did. What is the shortcut to comment? Okay, okay, that's good. We'll visit shortcuts and all, but first let's learn it the good way, and then we'll learn shortcuts. So, okay, some questions that I'm getting on the chats and Q&A are: will you be teaching us complete competitive programming? I'll be teaching you complete stuff. Right now, let's start with basics. Okay, it's not good to jump off directly to high level things. So yeah, we'll start the poll in say a minute. 5:51 seems a good time. Okay, 5:51. I'll start off the poll. There are a few questions out there which you have to answer. First, we'll start off with a very basic question. Let's see if you guys are able to answer it. Okay, so our quiz starts now. I guess you are able to see it. Okay, is it visible, guys? Everyone? Okay, I'm getting too many words. Okay, perfect. So So we will wait for a minute for everyone to vote again, and then all the answers are just towards one option, which shows that you actually got all the concepts clear. It is fine. Okay, let's just wait for a minute. Okay, meanwhile, so the question I'll just repeat once for those who aren't logged into the system is which of the following is not a data type? The options for you are int, char, something called x, and float. Okay, if you are not there on the Slido platform, you can answer it in the comments here. I'll be more than happy to check it. Okay, so I'll be giving you the correct answer in say 5 more seconds. Okay, so 3, 2, 1. I'm just showing you the correct answer. Yeah, so all of you have marked the correct option, which is actually great. So so we'll move on now. We'll move on with our slides. We will be sharing these polls and questions later. So if you want to attempt it later, you can. By the way, stay on this poll because we have 2 more questions coming up, but after a few more concepts. Okay. So yeah, coming to operators. So why are we learning numbers? Why are we using these containers? It is to operate on them and do something related to that. So the basic arithmetic operations are addition, subtraction, multiplication, division. There are some logical operators. What are these? Okay, let's just see very quickly. We'll have a look at this, and yeah. So back to our compiler. Now here I'll be declaring int. I'll write say number 1. I'll call it num1 equals 10. I'll declare another int num2 equals 20, and I want their sum. So int sum1 equals, I'll call it sum. Okay, let's call it sum1. Sum1 equal to num1 plus num2. Okay, I print out the value of sum1. This is actually basic addition that we guys do, so it shouldn't be much of an issue. Since we are not giving any inputs, I'll keep this blank here, nothing in here. I'll press execute once, and what do you think the output is? Okay, let's be a little interactive. Let's just spam chats, like no one. I'll just have a look at whatever you type. 30, perfect. So you all got it. It is 30. Perfect. So we'll be getting a sum as 30. Now suppose I declare a float num3 equals 1.1, 1.2, and suppose float num4 equals 1.1, and I'll be putting float difference. The difference would be a floating number, a decimal value. So diff1 equals to num3 minus num4. I'll be putting out the value of diff1 here. Let's see what the output is. Okay, let me just run it once very quickly. We're a little short of time because of some technical issues, but I'll cover it up. Don't worry. So the difference becomes 0.1. This is pretty clear, I guess. Then I'll be having a int num1 equals to 10, and let's try out something little different here. Okay? Or let's just stick to it. Int num2 equals to 3. Int mul1 equals to the multiplication. Okay, num1 into num2. Oh wait, I can't declare the same things again. I'll put it num5 and num6. Okay, you can't declare the same variable names again. That is something you have to note. Suppose I try to. I'm declaring something called as int num1 equal to 5 again. So what happens now? When I press execute, it will give me a compilation error. It will say that you can't redeclare things. If you read this error, it is you shouldn't redeclare things because num1 is previously declared. You can assign it another value. You can modify num1's value to 5. If I print out num1 here, you can see that the last value that would be printed would be a 5 because we are assigning it. So initially we take num1, we assign it the value of 10. Then after some time we change our minds. We're like, no, okay, num1 you're 5. So we assign it the value of 5. So it gets the value of 5. Okay, but we can't redeclare it. I hope that's clear. So coming back to our multiplication. So the multiplication would be cout mul1 enter. That is mostly it for now. Let's see what are 30 I should get 30, 0.1 and 30 again. Okay. So is this clear? I guess the basic arithmetic operations are clear, which is addition, subtraction and multiplication. Now coming to division. Okay. Division could be a little tricky. Suppose I declare my int num7 as 10 and I declare my int num8 as 5 and I declare my int div1 as num7 by num8. Okay, I print out the value of div1 here. So what do I get? I should get a value of 2. 10 by 5 is 2, which is pretty clear. Okay, but what if I try int div2 equals to num8 by num7? Okay, what if I want to print the value of div2? What happens now? So I'll just comment all these previous things so it doesn't interfere with our most important question for today. What is the output of this program? Okay, this is all you have to check. What will be the output? I want you guys to spam the comments. 0 0 0. Okay, error. Okay, 0 0 0 error 0. Okay. Okay, I am getting a lot of zeros. Some people are telling me it could be an error. What part should I explain? Can you just point it out? I'll try to. Okay, just mention what I should be explaining. I'll try my best to cover it again. So okay, so now what happens here is num8 by num7. Essentially, this is 5 by 10, which is 0.5. Okay, so what I'm telling here, I'm telling int div2 equals 0.5. This is what I'm telling my compiler. But this is a little tricky. What happens here is when I divide two integers, the division which takes place is called as integer division. Okay, what is new? Okay, nothing is new. Just that when I'm dividing two integers, the output which will be given by the program would be an integer. Shouldn't be confusing. What happens in general is there is a separate division to deal with integers and floating points. So when I want to divide two integers, it goes into the integer division and gives me an integer output. Now, since the output technically should be 0.5, but I can't give out an integer called 0.5. So what I go for is the number which is for 0.5 becomes 0, for 1.5 becomes 1, for 1.7 it still is 1. So I ignore the decimal values. So what happens is it ignores the decimal values. So that's all what is different here. So when I divide num8 by num7, it actually gives me an output of 0. Okay. Now you might get a little confused on this, but this is something that you have to get used to. There will be many times, there will be many occasions where you'll have to actually divide numbers, and you have to be really careful about it. And this is one major point that I would like to highlight. Did you not get any point here? What if we make, yes, perfect question. I was going to cover that. So if I have float div3, okay, and I assign it num8 by num7, what do you think the output would be now? This is slightly tricky. Just tell me what you think the output is. Spam the chats because it is difficult to get a correct answer here. Okay. Float dominates 0.00, 0.5. Okay, I'm getting too many different answers here, and I guess we all can agree it's a slightly tricky question, but it is something that we need to address. Okay, suppose I execute my program now. Before explaining anything out there, I would, I would like to show you what the output is. The output is 0. Why is the output 0? As I told you, there are separate sections for dealing with integers and floating points. So when I divide two integers, they both get called into the integer box. Okay, so the integer box calls it, divides those and outputs the integer function. So it is same as calling float div3 equals 0. Okay, it is same as calling float div3 equals 0. So what does this mean? Can I never get an output of 0.5? Okay, that is not what I'm saying. We'll get to this. I'll be declaring a float called num9 equals 10.0. I'll be declaring a float num10 equals to 5.0, and I'll be declaring a float I'll call it div4 equal to num10 by num11, and I'll be giving out its value. Okay. Now I want you guys to tell me the output, and this is the final time I'll be telling it to you. Okay. So now the output is 0.5. Someone is telling 0. Someone is telling 0.5. I'll just very briefly explain you what is happening here. Now what happens is num11 and num10 go to the, sorry, there is no num11, there is num9. My bad. Yeah. It's num9 by num10. My num10 by num9. Fine. My bad. So what would be the output here? Here the output would actually be 0.5. Why? Because now I have two floating point numbers. Now when I want to do an operation on them, it goes into the floating box and it returns a floating point division. I'll call it as floating division. Okay. It ignores nothing. It gives me as precise value as it can. So hence I get the value of 0.5. So am I clear till here? You can ask your doubts in the chat. I'll clarify it as soon as possible. So this is it. We got to the arithmetic part. We'll quickly brief you to the logical part here in this code here. So yeah, I'll just copy this down pretty soon. So coming to now the logical operators. Why is it integer value in div3? Okay, it is actually 0.0, but the compiler kind of ignores that last 0.0 here while presenting it out. It's fine. Is it not possible to get a decimal answer? No, it is not possible. So you have to typecast it. There's something called typecasting which we'll cover in future sessions. But for now, if you just have two integers as I showed you, you can't divide them and get a decimal value. So that's great. Now coming to the logical operators. What is the first thing that I'm showing you? So the first thing is a Boolean value called grade. The variable name is grade. I'm assigning it the value 2 greater than 3. Now is 2 greater than 3? Is it true or false? It's false, right? Ganesh, to your question's answer, in div equal to float 5 by 10. So you float 5 by 10, you again get 0.5. Now tell me, if I assign an integer as 0.5, what happens? You can try it out on your own and you can get it. The answer would actually be 0. Why is that so? Just check it out once. I'll explain it at the end. But for now, let's look at it. So bool grade, it's false, right? So now if I output the value of grade, I should get a 0. If I do bool greater than or equals to 2 greater than equal to 3. This is just to introduce you to the operators. I'll just see out grade equal to. Then I have a bool less equals to 2 less than 3. See out less and then I have a bool less equals 2 less than equals 3, and I'll be seeing out less equals and then. Okay. So just tell me what do you think the output would be to the program. I'll be writing 2 more down so that you get an idea. This is the most important part actually. Okay, so tell me what you think the output to these programs are. Okay, so as I'm telling you, the variable names kind of tell you what the function is doing. I'll just print out everything so that you have, yeah, 0 0 1 1 0 0 1 1. Okay, this is your program. Okay, pretty quickly I'll just run it once and tell you what's happening here. What's happening here is, first I'm checking is 2 greater than 3. It's not, so it's false. So it is same as telling grade equals false. Next, is 2 greater than equal to 3? No, it's not. It's still false. Is 2 less than 3? Yes, it is true. Okay. Is bool less than equal to is 2 less than equal to 3? Yes, it's true. Then is it equal to 3? how are we checking equality? You have to note that there are, two equal to signs here. It is not one, it's two. This is how we check equality. If you have one equal to operator, it becomes an assignment. If you have two equal to operators, it becomes a equality. We are checking if or not they are equal. Okay, so this is one thing you have to note. How do we check if they are not equal? We don't have a not equal sign basically, so it's an exclamation mark followed by a equality sign. So this is checking if it's not equal to, which is true. So the output would be 0 0 1 1 0 1. That is correct, but it would be all separated by spaces since we are using endl everywhere. Okay, so 0 0 1 1 0 1, that is perfect. So I guess you guys understood what these operators do. One good thing that you can understand is, suppose I want to check if a number is greater than 3 and less than 5. Okay, so I want to check if or not the number is greater than 3 and less than 5. So I'm writing if number is greater than 3 and less than 5. Okay, so how will I be checking? First I'll declare int num, then I'll take it input from my user int scene num, then I'll declare a bool less than 3. Okay, what is bool less than 3? Greater than 3, my bad. Greater than 3. So bool greater than 3 would be num is greater than 3, right? So if num is greater than 3, this will be true. If num is not greater than 3, it will be false. Okay, clear? Bool less than 5 is equal to num less than 5. Okay, I want to check if the number is greater than 3 and less than 5. Now here comes the AND operator. Okay, what is the AND operator? It is basically this symbol, the double AND. Okay, it's a double AND. What happens here is, suppose I have a condition, suppose I have a boolean value bool 1 and suppose I have a boolean value bool 2. Now their AND would be true if only both of them are true. Okay, yes, that is the symbol which you have put in the chat. So if bool 1 is true and bool 2 is true, then only bool 1 this will be true. Okay, so bool final check would be equal to greater than 3. It should be greater than 3 and it should be less than 5. Okay, I'm writing these variable names this big so that you can understand. In general, you can write it very small. You can put it as bool A, bool B and bool C equal to something. I'll just see out the value of final check. And now I want you guys to tell me what will be the output. Okay, I put in the value 3. Okay, I run it. What will be the output? Will it be true? Will it be false? Okay, be a little active in comments and that's how we learn. Otherwise it becomes, very dead and monotonous. So it would be 0. Why would it be 0? Because the number is not greater than 3. Am I correct? Okay. So this becomes false and this becomes true. So if even one of them is false, okay, since both of them are not true, my final check is false. Okay, that is correct. Now suppose I put the value 4. Okay, what happens if I put 4? Now my greater than 3, is 4 greater than 3? Yes. Is 4 less than 5? Again yes. So bool 1 is true, bool 2 is true. Will my final check be true? Yes. So is it true? Yes, it is. Okay. So I hope you guys understood this. This AND operator. There'll be one more operator I'll be introducing you to. I'll just quickly copy it down. This same function I'll copy it down once so that it's very similar. I'll comment this one because I hope everyone understood this. If you didn't, just spam the chats with your doubts. Okay, we are more than happy to answer. I take in the num, I check if it is less than 3 and I check if it is greater than 5. So what I want here is, now in this time I want my number to be less than 3 or greater than 5. It should be less than 3 or greater than 5. So less than 3 is this, greater than 5 is this. Now just tell me if or not it works. Okay, so this is less than 3 and this is greater than 5. Okay, so are you guys, so now what I'm looking for is the OR operator. Okay, So now I'm looking for the OR operator. So either of them should be true. And the OR operator in C++ is this double dash. So it is true when either bool1 or bool2 is true. Okay, suppose my input is 2. So what happens when input is true? Is it less than 3? Yes, it is less than 3. Is it greater than 5? No, it is not greater than 5. But since one of them is true, the OR operator makes the final check as true, and I'll get my answer as true. Okay, so I hope you understood this part. Suppose I change it to a value of 4. What happens now? So is 4 less than 3? No. Is 4 greater than 5? Still a no. Since both are false, so false or false is still false. Okay. So since neither of them is true, my final check will be false, and I get a value of 0. Now tell me which all numbers will give me a value of 0. Quickly, write in the comments so that I understand if or not you understood this. What will be the values which will give me 0 as an output? You have the conditions right up here in front of your eyes. So for which numbers would it be 0? I would give you, kind of 30 seconds to work it out. It's actually very simple. Which are the numbers are not less than 3 and not greater than 5? So between 3 and 5, 3, 4 and 5, 3, 4 and 5. Perfect. So that's what we are looking for. We are looking for the numbers 3, 4 and 5. If you get 3, 4 or 5, your answer would be straight away false. Okay. So I hope you guys understood the and the or operator here. So that's the mostly what we had to cover today. Coming to the next slide would be a question for you guys. Okay. So before going to the question, I would like you guys to go back to the Slido platform, which is here, and we'll have a quick poll having 2 questions this time back to back. Let's see if or not you're able to answer. Okay. So it's pretty simple again, but it's tricky. Okay. As we discuss the problems right now, it's a little tricky. So right now you might not be able to see anything out there. I just share the link again in the chat once. Someone send it in the Google platform too, Haricharan. Okay. I hope you guys got the link. And yeah, so I'll be starting the poll in a minute or so. But before that, I would like you guys to get on the platform and just start. I'll put on the poll in a minute. Okay, I'll give you a minute to just settle down so that everyone joins us. Okay, it's been shared on the YouTube platform too, as far as I can see right now. So yeah, just join in the platform now, and okay. So we'll quickly, we'll quickly start the poll. You have a minute, okay? Be fast, guys. Be fast, guys. I'll show you the code right away. So this is the code. What is the output of the following code? Can you quickly, just put your answers right there? Okay, be careful. Be very careful. Okay, we have discussed this. You can edit your responses. Okay, I'm seeing some wrong responses out there. I give you time. I give you some 30 seconds to correct it really fast. Okay. Okay. Now, kind of the votes have stabilized or something. Okay, so for those who are not on the platform, which of the following is the correct output of the code? Okay, it is 100 by 3. You have some options given as 33.33. One of the options is 33, and one of the options is 34. Okay, so let's have a quick look at the answer in say around 5 seconds. So 5, 4, 3, 2, one. I'll be just showing you the results. Okay. So hope you got it correct. If not, I'll just quickly brief you through this on what went wrong. But before that, let's just look at another question pretty soon. So which of the following is the output of the next code? Um, you can be really quick with this. This is a little confusing. I'll give you time to work this out on your own. Okay. Be careful. It's int x equal to a, and that might be a little confusing because how can character be assigned to a integer? Okay. The answers to this will be discussed later. But right now, work your brain through and try to, kind of guess or logically build up on an answer. So I give you 30 seconds for this too, and yeah. Okay, okay. I see some answers going in the right direction. Okay, perfect, perfect. So I'll be showing you the results in vote fast. Okay, you have 10 seconds. Vote fast on whatever answer you think is correct, and here I'll be closing of the poll. Okay. Okay, ready. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Okay, I hope you guys voted. And here are the results. The answer is 91. What is 91? How is A 91? What is happening? Okay, this is all the magic of ASCII. I'll be sharing a table with you. We'll be discussing this on the group later, but that's all for now. Okay. So now we'll be looking at a simple problem on Codeforces platform. Okay. I want you guys to scan this QR code. What is the
Sure.
Codeforces platform?
We can leave the problem for the next session. The time is running
Okay,
out
fine.
actually.
Okay, fine. Okay, fine. I'll leave the problem for the next session. Right now we'll be going through something. One thing is you can just scan the QR and make up the attendance for now. You can ask if you didn't do it earlier. If you did it earlier, don't do it again. No need. Okay, no need to do it again. Uh, I hope you scanned it. Let's move to the main part here. So why are we gathered here? Why are we doing this camp? This is not to teach you C++ or something. This is to get you guys introduced to the field of competitive programming. Now what is the use of the camp unless we have some people to tell you how reliable it is and how it has helped them? Why are we doing this camp again and again? What benefits it can offer you and so on. We have some people with us to share their own experiences. So I would just like to call on. Is Mantra with us, Chahal? Chahal?
Yash will be speaking first, I think.
Yash is here. Okay, so Yash is here with us. Yash, okay, I'll introduce you guys to who's Yash. Yash is one of the ICPC world finalists this year, and he's one of a major part of the CP community in IITM. He's a major part of programming club too. I'll just hand over the mic to him, and he can continue speaking on his journey and all these things. Okay, so Yash, are you there? Okay, perfect. So yeah, to you, Yash.
Hello, is my voice fine?
Yes, it's perfectly audible. It's perfectly audible.
Yeah. So I'm a bit ill, so maybe the voice is a bit low, but if there's an issue with hearing, you can tell me. So I'm here to talk about competitive programming and what is it and what was my overall experience with it. So just in very short, if I have to explain, competitive programming is basically a mind sport. You can see Sean taught you today about basics of C++. Now, if you use this, you got to know a lot of different ideas which you can use. Let's say you want to go through 10 things, or you want to do many different things. Those can be expressed to C++. Now in competitive programming, you use the C++ concept to solve algorithmic and mathematical problems, puzzles basically. All of us enjoy solving puzzles since our childhood. So this is essentially you have a puzzle and then you use these C++ concepts, use some programming ideas to solve these puzzles. This is basically competitive programming. Now, what was my experience in competitive programming? So I started competitive programming after the end of my third semester. And since that, I have been participating on various different platforms like Codeforces. So in future sessions or in current session, they might have told you about Codeforces. It's one of the major platforms for competitive programming. Also, I started competitive Codeforces in third semester, and currently I am a master, which is like yellow, which is like the fifth or sixth rank. And I also participated in a team contest, which is ICPC. So ICPC is it's like the Olympics, or it's like the Olympics, or let's say the IMO of Maths Olympiad. Like, there are many different stages. You have the prelims, then you have regionals, then you have Asia West, and then you have World Finals. The great thing about World Finals is that you will get to meet like insanely talented and one of the best competitive programming brains throughout the entire world, right from China to Russia to US, and you would have an opportunity to interact with them, and all of the best people in the world will all of the best programmers in the world are essentially gathering at one place to show their talent in competitive programming. So last year I was able to go to till the regionals, and this year luckily I could go to the world finals in competitive programming, sorry, in ICPC. So why is competitive programming important? So there are some factors because of which I feel that everyone should give competitive programming a solid try. First thing is, like, the most important thing according to me is that it is extremely fun. Like, I have not found anything else as fun in my life, like other than playing video games. But the incentive of, like, it's as fun as playing a video game in my opinion, and the incentives for it are, and it helps sharpen your brain, it keeps your brain fresh, and you get a nice new perspective of thinking about things in a very analytical point of view. So, and it's extremely fun. Like, there are days in which I like stay awake till 4 a.m. just like randomly thinking about a problem. Another thing is, you develop some really nice skills. You get to learn about algorithms, which is like you can essentially, it's a very great power. It's a very great power that, like, let's say you want to have a job done, you can tell someone to do a job, or you can, like, and he will, let's say, do one operation per second, but you essentially have a computer at your hand which can do like 1 billion operations per second. And the power to make a computer like act according to your will is like extremely empowering, and it's extremely fun, and that too to solve cool puzzles like so that's the fun aspect. You also get to learn very nice skills. You get to know how to solve all of these algorithms and stuff. uh, and that's it. Like, if you enjoy solving mathematical puzzles, if you enjoy solving puzzles, you should definitely try it out. You also learn how all of these data structures work. So data structures basically how the data is stored in a computer. Like, we have different structures for those, and those are also extremely cool, extremely interesting. You will understand how a computer works on a data structure level. And also it's helpful for, like, there are a lot of perks. As if you go to a higher level in ICPC, it's an extremely competitive achievement. A lot of people are trying for that, so it creates a very good impression in front of anyone who knows about competitive programming or ICPC, that you have practiced the sport, you have spent a lot of time on it, and thus developed a lot of your mental skills very well. And it also helps in, like, let's say, in a lot of many different firms, like, let's say, software engineering or trading and stuff. Those really value your, like, algorithmic skills and like competitive programming skills quite a lot. So that's another incentive for that. But most importantly, forget the money, forget everything else, it's extremely fun. Like, if I can vouch that it is fun. So you should definitely, maybe you might not like it, but you will most probably like it, and that is the reason you should definitely give it a try and follow these sessions. That's all I have from my side. I guess Mantra can carry forward from here.
Yeah. Hello, am I audible?
Yeah. You're
Okay. Yeah. Hello, all. I am Mantra, and I was the head of programming club last year. So I'll be telling a bit about my journey in CP and how you can utilize this camp the most. So to start with, I was introduced to CP by one of my senior, Vineet, and I started CP even before my college started. So that was quite interesting to me that CP was the first thing introduced, which was college related, and it was quite fun. I started in the vacation, and I think not many people get this opportunity to learn CP earlier, which is sort of bad. That's why the camp is quite useful, where if you are in first semester or second semester, you can learn about competitive programming and learning about programming in general in C++, because that's a quite nice start point where you can start thinking algorithmically and how you can solve some challenging problems which might be useful even in day-to-day life for automating some tasks that you do. And so my journey started in first semester, and slowly I got interested in competitive programming, and I was a part of this SPC camp sort of thing in my year as well, and it was quite fun. At my highest, I was a candidate master on code forces, and after that, I did a very common mistake, which was stopping CP for a while and focusing a bit on other things. So I would say that if you want to try to learn CP and check if this is something that suits you, then you should follow the camp thoroughly and try to solve each of the problem set, because it's fine even if you can't solve some problems in one of the problem sets. It's possible that the topic might be a bit harder for you, but this shouldn't discourage you from solving further problem sets, because it's possible that starting is a bit tough. That's the case for everybody, but slowly you'll get hang of, say, C++ as a language, or thinking about problems in algorithmic way, and slowly you'll be learning more CP and getting better at it. So it's fine even if the starting is a bit tough and steep, but the learning curve is quite nice, because when you solve a problem that is very high rated on code forces, say 1800, the satisfaction is quite nice. And giving contests is also quite an important part of CP, because it's not just that it's some competitive environment where you can see the rating, and like the rating specifies a number on you, and if the number is higher you feel proud or something. It's just that contests challenge you to think fast and perform in, say, time pressure, which is something interesting to me. I don't think everyone likes it, but for me contests are quite important, and through that, like, sure, rating is important and you can put it on resume or something, but it challenges you to think fast and think logically, which is quite important. So do try to give contests. And as I mentioned, I didn't do CP after a point, which is sort of hard to get back into the mood of doing CP. So if you like it, you should continue it. It's fine if you solve some problems, but not giving contests. But stopping CP completely is kind of bad idea. So that's it on the CP part. And yeah, as I mentioned, try to go through the problem sets. I think Sean will take you through the code forces and how the problems are on code forces, how we can solve it. So do try to solve the camp, and most importantly, enjoy the camp. If you have any doubts, you can feel free to ask in any of the WhatsApp group or Teams or any of the other ways that we are connected. Yeah. That's it.
Okay, thanks a lot, Mantra. Thanks a lot, Mantra and Yash, for sharing your experiences. Okay, it was really nice listening to both of you. Like, to be honest, these two are the people motivated even me throughout my CP journey. But now coming to the main part again, helping you to solve problems and guiding you through the sessions and all. Are you able to see my screen, guys? You might be seeing a dashboard or something. Is it visible to all? Just a yes or no quickly on the chat. Yes, okay, it's visible. So now this is something that has been released. So you guys who are part of the group will be able to see this. Those who haven't joined the group, you will be sharing out the group. The group link is there in out. Okay, just join as soon as possible. The first question I'll just solve it and show you guys, because you guys have to have a small rough idea how it is. So what is it? There are 4 people. They are living in a hostel. They have A, B, C, D chocolates respectively. One night, some guy comes in and steals all these chocolates. Can you help them figure out how many chocolates he has? How are we solving this? We'll just go to our JDoodle compiler pretty quickly. We'll type out the basic code. Just give me a minute, and we'll be done with this problem. So meanwhile, can you tell me what is the logic behind this problem? While I'm coding these basic things, can you tell me what is the logic behind this problem? So I have 4 different number of chocolates, A, B, C, D, and Dave comes in and just takes all of them. So Dave has A plus B plus C plus D chocolate. That is the answer. So I have to return the number of chocolates, which is A plus B plus C plus D, which is first I get a number 2, then the next number I get is 4, then the next number I get is 5, the next number I get is 7. The sum of these is 18, as you can see. Similarly, here 59 plus 1 plus 11 plus 9, it goes 60 plus 20, that is 80. Give out the output of these 4 problems. So how do we do that? We declare 4 integers, int A, Then we take in input in A. Then we declare in B. We take in input in B. We declare the third integer C. We take in input in C. We declare the fourth integer D. We take in input in that fourth integer D. Now we make the sum. We make a variable called sum, which is equal to A plus B plus C plus D. Okay, I hope this is clear. And we just output the sum. A general good programming practice is to have it on the next line, but we actually check how is it expected. It's expected like this, so we just print it out there. I'll give myself four numbers: 1, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, these are the four numbers we'll be using. I'll just execute it once. So what happens? First time the input calls, it gets the first number, which is 1. Second time it calls, gets the second number. Third time it calls, gets the third number. Fourth time it calls, gets the fourth number. A plus B plus C plus D, which is 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4, which indeed is 10. I just copy my code here. I go to this section. This is my code forces platform. I hope you guys, are kind of used to this. You have a good idea of what it is. In case you don't, then I'll just show you what we initially had was a problem set. We click in the problem at this link. We read the problem. We check out these test cases. These are the examples. We go to the point of submit code. We click here. We click here, we choose the problem. We were solving the first problem, which is where are my chocolates. We paste our code here and we choose the language. Okay, there are many languages out here. We choose our language to be GNU G++20. Okay, this is basically C++. Do not worry. We submit and we check what the answer is. Okay, hopefully it should get accepted. Show a green symbol here. So if you give the correct answer, it shows accepted. Suppose you give the wrong answer. Suppose I just print the first three numbers and I'm trying to submit. So in this case, I am giving a wrong answer. Okay. So now what happens is it tells me that I've given a wrong answer on test 1. Okay. So this is something you should get used to. Some people were asking me suggestions on where to solve more problems from. Right now, I would suggest start with these. Apart from this, you can just click the problem set. This is the code forces problem set section. You can filter out problems based on difficulty, 800 being the lowest one and 3200 something being the highest one. Okay, try to solve the lowest rated problems because that's how you get started with things. Okay, no need to start exploring the problem set right away because we need to get clear with some basics. These are the basic problems out there. Check these out and we'll get back with the solution and everything tomorrow. Any doubts with this, just reply in the chat and we'll be more than happy to get it. Option should be 97 inch. Oh, okay, my bad. Okay, I'll check through that. Okay, fine. So now what we'll be doing is we'll be sharing you some basic resources to read through and get a little more knowledge on. And I hope all this was clear till now. Okay, this problem set. Are you clear with how to take input, how to give output, how to print things, how to add stuff? Just reply with a yes or no, and we can conclude this session off. It was really nice, interacting with all of you with so many comments. Okay, I have rarely seen such an active audience. Everyone is just interacting so pretty well, and yeah. So I hope you guys understood the basics. You got clear with whatever we had to do. The first problem involved whatever we covered in this session. So all the problems A, B, C, D, E involve this. D slightly is involving a little different concept, but it's easier. You can do it. Okay. You enjoyed the session. Same here. Even I enjoyed this a lot. So I'll stop sharing now. And thanks a lot, guys, for being here. Now now we have another session coming up at 6:45 for another camp. So we'll have to stop here. Take a nice break if you are a part of that. Take a 10-minute break. Relax back and ask your questions on the WhatsApp group or message us. We are more than happy to answer. Okay. Thanks a lot, guys. Bye bye. Okay. See you.